all to Community and the Constitution, where we get to have all kinds of fun. This is our basic classes if you've just joined us recently to the show. If you have, we like to say welcome. I've already posted 2 links in both chat rooms. I have both the BTR and the Freedom Marines chat rooms open for everyone. We're moving into our deprogramming segment. I hear you breathing, Jose. How you doing, brother?
No, I'm doing good. How about you?
Well, all good, all good. I got another caller over here on the board. I don't think that's Jesse, though. If that is, just caller, if you just want to get on air, say hello. If you're just listening, that's fine. Don't forget to push the number 1 on your keypad, so that'll put your hand up. Because I'm lousy with remembering phone numbers, so I'm not sure if that's Jesse or not. Oh boy, yeah, I didn't think I was gonna make it tonight. Well, I knew I'd make it. I just didn't think I was gonna make it on time. Crazy week started out. Had Monday night. I end up somehow cutting the main underground line that supplies the whole house with the TV and internet and everything. So I didn't even realize I had done it. All I know is I was outside working, came inside, and had no internet, so I called them up right away. And a guy came out on Tuesday, and he's like, signal's dying right here, and then I'm repicking it up on the reverse here, and I don't know what's going on. So he says, he threw a temporary line to see if we can get it working, and it worked. He goes, so the line must have gone bad. I said, yeah, I was out here working that. I probably cut the damn thing and didn't even realize it. So, yeah, I was without internet 24 hours, and then the wife's laptop crashed. All kinds of bad sectors on the hard drive, so I've been working in a safe mode on the repair side, just trying to connect it enough across the network so I can pull off her document folders and her pictures and whatnot to get them all backed up onto the main system. So I was in the middle of doing that, and it was a large unit, and I didn't want to interrupt it. And I had it set up in front of my computer, so I couldn't even get to my computer and keyboard. So I'm feeling underneath my keyboard tray where I couldn't see anything, letting Jose know, hey, I might be late, start the show for me. But, yeah, all of a sudden everything kicked in and went fine, and I just literally finished it up just now. So, whew, anywho, how was your week?
Well, geez. It's been something else. I mean, seriously, last Thursday I was supposed to help open up the show and give out this big long spiel that I had set up about, upcoming events, and lo and behold, the electricity went out. No excuse for it. Absolutely no excuse. No weather at all, or no bad weather. I should say, no inclement weather at all. And seriously, it was like sunny outside, maybe 2 little clouds. And no wind, no anything like that. Just poof, electricity's gone. They said, yeah, sure, we'll have it up about 9. I said, well, the show's going to be over by then. And they didn't get it up till 6 o'clock the next morning. And I'm like, what was the excuse for that? Nobody knows why it went down, and all of a sudden it just come back on. Well, one thing leads to another. Next thing you know, here we are. It's Wednesday again, and it's snowing outside, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, electricity's going to go out again. I bet it is. And it hasn't.
Snow, and I feel for you.
Yeah.
Just had to rub it in.
Yeah, no, well, it's just the way it goes. But I've been putting a little bit of attention to what's going on, like on, some blog talk stuff, that's going on, and other things that are going on, like on Facebook and stuff, and other shows.
Another week to get it all together, and this way you'll be all ready for tomorrow, and it gives me basically a night off.
Well, I'm going to just go ahead and go with what I had last week. I probably should I probably shouldn't say that because now I'm thinking, electricity's going to be out tomorrow. Because I really want to do this because it shows a whole lot of information that I kind of compiled. Some of it is, kind of ooh, and some of it is specific. Yeah, it's just me and my conspiracy theories. But
hey, nothing wrong with that. If worse comes to worse and something happens again, of course I do my best to be here. I think in the last 4 years, I've missed maybe 2 shows in 4 years, so I guess my record's pretty good. So no problems there. We can always turn into a music show if worse comes to worse, and I don't come up with anything between now and then. But we can always do review because we got a lot of craziness that's happening on. We're just kind of hanging out, folks, and talking for a little bit right now. We're not hitting any of our info. Jessie just got home. She's logging in. She'll be joining us here shortly. We're just waiting for the students to come in to the show so they can grab these links and we can start our lessons for today. We're going to start breaking in here to, there she is. She just logged into the Freedom Range chat room. She'll be showing up on board here shortly. We've been kind of going in order. If you went over to my homepage, and from the Freedom Range site, if you go under our team and click on my name, David Meola, and that will bring you to all the first archive shows from, I don't know what year those are the ones archived from, but the information doesn't change, so it's not a problem. Click on those. You can listen to those. We've been going through. We've already covered into Patriot Misbeliefs. That was always our first topic we opened with. We went into treason by design, which explains to us why voting is a crime. And from there, we went into, it brings us into dual citizen. And we had 5 PDFs that we covered. Some of them that were real short, so I think we got through that in about 2 shows. So with about 2 weeks, we were able to whiz through that one without too much of a problem. So if you're new, you haven't missed that much. And we review the information within constantly, and the links are there for you all the time. So anytime you want to go over it, if you're not sure, if you missed something, simply click on our team to the left if you're on the Freedom Range site, and you'll be able to find all the PDFs in question. Tonight we're starting with Deprogram. Now that's our fun, interactive movie from PAC. Has a little bit of a, based on the Matrix theme there for you, help make it a little bit more enjoyable. And I tell everybody, don't bother clicking on all those links. Some of those links may be dead by now. Because you're going to find about 25 different links within that information during that movie as you're going through that. And you'll see what I mean once you start it. I have all the links, so don't worry about it. And we'll start entering into them. And that'll bring us also into our advanced classes, which will start bringing us up into more and more relevant information. And apologize for all the ums tonight. That's only because I'm buying for time. There she is. There's my girl. Let's see if I can get her going here. You there, kiddo?
Yeah. Hi, Doc.
Hey, what's happening?
Well, as you know, I got promoted at work, and it's my officially second day on the job, and I'm exhausted. This early morning crap sucks. But otherwise, I'm doing good. I'm expecting a phone call later, so if you want me to read or something, and you talk to me and I'm not there, just know I'm probably on the phone.
No.
All right. So yeah, go ahead with your show, and I'll be here as I am every week listening. Hi, everybody.
There you go.
Hi, Jess.
Here. Yeah, you'll
get. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
Well, you heard I got a promotion, so I'm excited, but at the same time I'm tired. So.
A promotion?
Yes.
Promoted to what?
Well, I'm still a custodian, but instead of cleaning just buildings and working at night, I clean rest areas, I work outside, and I work during the day. So, and my pay goes up automatically because I work during the day, so it's nice. And I get to drive the company rig, and I'm outside. So, I mean, there's more pros than cons, and I'd be an idiot not to take the job anyway, so.
I agree. Working daytime is better than working nighttime.
Heck yeah. I get to stay home and be home with my son, and of course you can probably hear him screaming in the background because he doesn't want to go down for a nap, but too bad. I get to spend more time with him, and it's nice. I miss being able to spend time with my kids.
Cool.
Absolutely. Always a good thing you can do that. All right, well, I don't like anybody else is coming in. They'll probably be here on the second hour. That's usually what happens, and they catch the rest of the shows in the archive. By now, hopefully you've opened that link. And the link we're working on tonight is one of the first links you'll find as you're going through the deprogramming sequence. And that's packinlaw.org/info. It's only a 2-page document. It's short, especially since it's large print. So that makes it a little bit easier. And it just gives you a little bit of history about us and who we are and what we're about. And everybody knows this as PAC, which is the People's Awareness Coalition. And this is our resource page. PAC consists of many different facets, which all work together. Content in these 2 pages provides a brief overview of what such facets consist of. The birth of the coalition. The People's Awareness Coalition, PAC, was founded by L.B. Bork in the year 1998. The coalition was birthed by a writing entitled Human Resource Discussed, and we go over that PDF. We can actually do that in the basic classes here as well. We usually go into more detail at the advanced classes for it, but it's not that hard to figure out. From there, LB did research on the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. This research led him to write the book entitled The Red Amendment in 1999. Now, the book is in its 4th edition now for 2012. We've seen thousands of copies distributed throughout the United States in the past 10 years. On other educational grounds, an entertainment-based presentation was created in the year 2000. This particular piece is noted as the PAC deprogramming sequence. That's the first link I gave you. That's what we're talking about tonight. This facet of PAC has gone through several stages of development throughout the years. It has served to unplug thousands and thousands of people from the mind control that has been instilled on them. From these simple, fundamental stepping stones, PAC has blossomed into 9 different web addresses. The 2-page document map is to assist you in your understanding of the sites. For our up-to-date, I'm pretty sure that the forum, the Not My Government forum, is still there. The packinlaw.org, you're not going to find too much information out if you went there direct anymore, because we moved everything over to the new site, which is the packalliance.uf. So I'm sure the document here has been updated, and we'll find out as we go along. All right, so why are we different as a coalition? There are many groups out there who profess many different things. Most of what you can have been seen is an overspill of many ideas mixed with many off-point issues. The coalition differs because we center on the heart of the matter, the change of the governmental system that happened after the so-called Civil War. Without question, this political issue is the problem that people fail to understand. The device that altered the government politically and in law was the 14th Amendment. There are 2 issues that stem from the aforesaid, and they are: 1, it tricks Americans into rebelling against the lawful government system. For those of you who don't know what that is the de jure system, the republic that the Founding Fathers founded and put together our union on. And how you're rebelling against it is by your voting. You're actually committing the act of treason, and we cover that in Treason by Design. And number 2, it turned them, the people, into legal entities.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the... Yeah, go ahead, Jose.
No, I was just agreeing. Yeah, it does. It makes everybody into legal entities. It really sucks. You know, I don't know. In my opinion, it's probably one of the stupidest things anybody has ever written in the history of the world. And I've seen some stupid stuff written. Well, that 14th Amendment, it's like, you know, it's on the same level as finders, keepers, losers, weepers. Ta-da! There it is.
There you go. Well, next question would be, so what is our end goal? The ultimate goal is to have the rightful governments politically reinstalled in the several states. Of course, for this to happen, people need to be educated. Our interim goal is to repopulate the American republics. Before the former can be done, the latter has to be accomplished. Now again, if you're new to this, we're not talking party lines. This is not Republican versus Democrats. This is form of governance, political bodies. PAC web porthole. On this side of the PAC web portholes are listed in order of educational sequence. The notmygovernment.us, that's our forum. And there you find where you can introduce yourself, find others in your area doing study programs, so on and so forth, along with tons of other information. And then our deprogramming, which is what we're talking about tonight, which is the interactive movie about using the Matrix in a real world we live in. It takes only about an hour to get through. It's a lot of fun. I go through it often. The links within are what we're talking about tonight. And those, of course, will take a lot more than an hour. When we get into it, because it does include some of the advanced stuff, and some of those links you can take a year on if you really want to study it that deeply. We just give you the highlights to give you the encouragement. We're here to answer your questions and point you in the right direction. Make sure you have your links to your law books and law dictionaries. Every PDF, if you're new to PAC, is covered in footnotes and further PDFs. So always put your favorites, mark a folder within your favorites, because by the time you're done with this, you're going to end up with a good 100 to 150 links by the time you're done. Tons of information. It's all solid. It's all backed in law. We've been around the longest out of anybody else in the movement. Nobody else can claim what we claim. Nobody who's ever worked with us or gone through us has ever had a legal issue. So you either do it right the first time, folks, or you go off to these nut jobs claiming they've paid off your debt and Turner shit and all the other yes there, because it's all garbage. As soon as you hear UCC stuff, run. Okay? Because it's all garbage. It will do you absolutely nothing in court. And our purpose is to free you from their system so you never have to play in their playground, and that is the courtroom. This frees you completely from their private system. The People's Awareness Coalition, this is the main site. That's the PAC web porthole group. It houses all the facets of the coalition at one time. It is in current state. It has advanced information on law and political issues, and you can go through that. You'll find everything at pacalliance.us. Also the Red Amendment that we just spoke about. Got to get it. That's our textbook, folks. If you do nothing else, check out the educational. There's a couple of different levels, and these are taught by and overseen by L.B. Bork himself. And the classes do include a copy of the Red Amendment, or you can simply buy the book by itself. And the latest edition, which was just released a couple of months ago, is our 2012 edition. So please, if you get a chance, check it out. The Island Makers Project. Now, a lot of people, you're going to see links to that everywhere. And all the links are available for you on this one PDF. As we scroll down to the bottom, you'll see all those different links, including the islandmakers.us. if you're interested in a particular group out there or a particular individual, and you want to see, if there's anything negative or positive or what that individual may be teaching that's incorrect, I should say, the Island Makers is where you want to go. The Island Makers is made up of these people who are out there for themselves. All right, it's all about them. So it's nothing but scams 99% of the time. Most of what they claim, it's like with any good salesman, it's got some truth to make you think that, oh, this is the greatest thing in the world, and the rest is all scams, lies, and BS. So what I always do when I'm out there doing my research, I always go over there to the Island Makers. I type in the search engine a particular either group's name in question or the person's name in question, and see if it shows up. If it shows up, then I read what's going on, what the background is on it, if it's good, bad, or indifferent. And if it's not there at all, then look a little more into that individual to see if I notice any flaws. I've been doing this a long time, so it's real easy for me to pick out the flaws. And then I recommend that individual, if it is something negative, I'll recommend that individual to be added. And then our researchers will go through it and see what's going on. And, it's all about law, folks. It's no hype. You ain't going to get, no silver bullet here, no smoke and mirrors, no dog and pony. We give you the facts, straightforward, out of the law books themselves, how the system works. There is the goal at the end. There is the light at the end of the tunnel. You can be free once again from the 14th Amendment that has enslaved us all. And if you have not done the only lawfully recognized process passed by Congress prior to the passing of the 14th Amendment, then sorry, you are not free. And anything that contains the word in the group citizen, okay, run. It's a scam. All right? Citizen is evil.
Bad word.
They usurped it, okay? It no longer exists as a way out since the 14th Amendment, folks. Same thing when you hear this about these free man on the land, and we work in admiralty courts, and all this other UCC garbage out there. It's garbage, folks. It has zero grounding in basis and law. And every single person I know who have tried these UCC files and all these other crazy garbage out there has lost everything they own, including their house, their cars, their bank accounts. Many of them, most of them, ended up in prison. Okay? Don't fall for the bullshit, folks. It's a lie. It will get you nowhere, but put you deeper into the system and make it that much harder for you to get out lawfully. So do it right the first time. Get your education from the right and proper source. Know the law. Don't take somebody else's word for it, especially mine. Yeah, I've been doing this a long time. But you don't know who I am. And I ain't telling you nothing. Yeah, I got a textbook. I should say, PAC has a textbook. I don't have a textbook. It's not my textbook. I'm not the author of that textbook. I'm a member and an educator of PAC. I've been with PAC for over 4 years. I've been teaching it on the radio here for over 4 years. Actually, my 4-year anniversary comes up in 3 weeks. I have to verify that after, though. So most of what I talk about, I go off the top of my head because I've been doing this so long. But that's okay. I want you guys to be comfortable. And please ask questions. Some questions may fall into the advanced section. And if it does, that's okay. We'll direct you and let you know, okay, well, the Wednesday night show, Here's the basics of it, but I give you more information on it. We'll cover it in deeper detail on Thursday. That is our advanced classes, and where we also cover the current events as we watch what they are doing. Because you always got to watch. You never know what they're going to do. And that's always important. It's always been an aspect of one of the things we do here, and that is to keep an eye on what they are doing. The next PDF you're going to come across as you go through PAC-D programming, if I hit the right button, that is. Well, it's coming off my document, so I got to hold the control button in order to make it pop. And that is still found at the paclaw.org site. I'm copying that now and posting it into our chat room for you. Hang on. I'm posting in 2 chat rooms here, so give me a minute. There we go. That's pacandlaw.org/SUP/rulers.html. You can probably get to it just by going to paclaw.us/rulers as well. It should default and bring you back to this site. This here is something you can read over on your own. It's not that long, and it covers the Federalist paper. And it really just comes down to a further explanation of who truly are we people. Because that's not you and me, folks. That's been a lie. Okay? And the segments below are taken from the Federalist Papers. The Federalist Papers was a series of articles outlining the ruling elite's plan to control the commerce of America, peoples, under the document known as the Constitution for the United States. They were noted to be posted as public notice in the Empire State. But whose empire? Note that we, the people, refer to themselves as rulers. And if you look up the American Heritage Dictionary, ruler, one such as a monarch or dictator that rules or governs. So you see, we, the people, are not who you think we are. The popular leaders who in all ages have called themselves the people. That comes right out of Valentine's Law Dictionary, folks. Blackstone's Commentaries, 438, right out of the Law Dictionary itself. And below you will find a whole list of backing information taken right out of the Federalist Papers that you can look up yourself and verify all that information. The next link you're going to come across, many I'm sure have seen it, is simply the National Debt Clock. And it tells you what's going on currently in the National Debt Clock. And you can look that up yourself. We have our own link for it, and you will see that in there as well. However, if you're really interested, you can just go to there. And currently it's showing the estimated population of the United States, total debt, and so each citizen's share of this debt is $53,130.31, going up by the second here. The national debt has continued to increase an average of $3.87 billion per day since September 28th, 2007. So there's links there. You can tell the White House about it. Not that they're going to do much much about it, because you're a slave. You are their property. The 14th Amendment. Such a loving thing, ain't it? Just gotta love this shit. All right, this is our next one. This is a big one, and this we're gonna probably gonna use the rest of the show up with, and I'm posting that right now into both chats for you. So just bear with me a second. Now, this particular document. All right, checking the board, checking everything, good to go. This is also at pacandlaw.org/PDF/SUP/Senate Resolution 62. Now, you're not going to be able to type all that in. Just the best way to do it is probably SR62 would be the shortcut for it from the paclines.us/ and try SR62. If not, get it from the chat rooms. I just posted it. Or at any time, simply Skype me for those who have my Skype contacts. And if you don't, please send a contact You can always find me on Skype. Just look up David Meola. There's only about 3 that are going to show up. My picture is there. So it's really easy to determine me from the others. Send me a contact request if you do. Also, please put in the body of the text when you do the request, at least put in PAC or show or something to that effect that I'm going to recognize. Because I get way too many requests, and if you don't put that in there, I'm just going to ignore it. So you can always get me in my Skype or in one of the chat rooms here on Wednesday and Thursday nights. All right, with that being said, this is the an article. It's entitled Contracts Payable in Gold. Now, this is written by George Cyrus Thorpe, Thorpe. It's showing the legal effect of agreements to pay in gold. United States Government Printing Office, Washington, 1933. Now, remember, dates are important, and what's available today from these documents. This is lessons, this is history, this is law. So a lot of these things are changed, and we can see how those contracts are changed as we go on through the different understanding of it. So again, this is something you're going to find in the PAC deprogramming. You can go through this on your own. It's a very large document. And it looks to be probably, I'd have to guess, about 15 pages since I don't really have the full page list in front of me. But if you go through there, it'll give you the resolution, gives you the contracts payable in gold in Washington, D.C., and it talks about the contract. Everything we do is a contract. And you'll also see footnotes, like we do with all the PDFs. And that includes court cases and questions, or where or what a particular comment may come from. You will see that in the footnotes, or a definition to further your understanding under a particular sentence or paragraph or topic in general. But again, you can go through this, and it's talking about the June 17th, 1862, to pay in current gold coin of the United States. This stuff is, telling you what is payments in normal value and legal, tender of money. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this tonight. I'm just going to glance through, but you'll see all these different dates, how it works. All the different court cases are listed. You're going to find, it's 10 pages altogether, but you're going to find dozens of court cases listed in this. And it's great for you to help with your research so you can have a better understanding. And it's really designed more for probably some of the advanced courses. But like I said, as you go through that deep program tonight, or whenever you have a chance, you're going to come across things that start out basic, and it's going to take you right into a deeper understanding of the more advanced. For the purpose of this document, though, the bottom line is contracts. Remember that word. That word is the key word in everything we do, in every aspect of our life, whether you believe it or not. Comes down to a contract. When you go to a courtroom, the first thing they determine is, one, jurisdiction. If you're a U.S. citizen, that's established, no problem. You're under their jurisdiction. Number two, for any court, the next question is, what contract is in question? That's it, folks. And then it goes from there. Even if it's a simple thing as a traffic ticket. What people don't understand, a traffic ticket or fine of any kind is heard at, if you take it to the level where it's supposed to be brought to, criminal court. Because in order to be imposed penalties and fines, it must be a criminal action. What people also don't understand is when the officer first turns his lights on to pull you over, and you go and pull over, at that moment, technically, because he stopped you from your flow of traffic, he stopped you from your right of travel, you are technically under arrest at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand that. You only hear these people out there trying to teach you, well, am I being detained? Am I under detainment?
Actually, you are under arrest. Technically.
Yeah, by law definition in the court, you are considered the second you're under arrest, and any action that you take from that point on will go against you in a criminal court. You get these people trying to tell you, well, my being detained, you were pulled over. If you want a question that you may have in the future out of it, you ask him, am I under arrest? Because believe it or not, most officers don't even realize, because they're only given about 16 hours of law. And most of it's procedural law. It's not real law, if you will, a year. And most officers may not even realize it. And you go and ask them, instead of asking, am I being detained? Well, that's obvious. You were pulled over. You ask them, am I under arrest? And the second he says no, because that's what he's going to tell you, because that's what their instinct is. No, I didn't put you under arrest, because they don't know any better. You say, okay, and ignore it and leave it at that. Because remember, their dashboard is recording everything. All right? They got their camera and their audio on. And when you go to court, if you do get a ticket or anything, don't bring it up to the officer. He doesn't know. But when you go to court, simply plead, hey, this ticket's invalid. And I'd be like, what do you mean? I asked the officer if I was under arrest. He said, no. Therefore, any action taken after that point, be it a ticket, impound, anything, is null and void. The contract was never fulfilled. Many people don't know that. These are the type of things you're going to learn when you learn real law. You're going to know a lot more than the average person you run out there, including law enforcement. But law enforcement are always approached and appreciated as our friends, folks. If you're here, love your officers. And if you're one of those, hothead, we're not interested. Okay? That's not what we're teaching you here. The fight is never on the street. You always be of the utmost polite and courteous as you can. Because the fight isn't on the street. And it's criminal court. And in a criminal court, what are you allowed? If you push the issue, not only are you allowed to have a court stenographer there, and if you do that, please bring your own, because that keeps the judge behaving and doing things correctly. Allowed to have an attorney. You're allowed to be heard by a jury. Can you imagine actually ever being allowed to get far before it's thrown out? I got a ticket for speeding. I'm requesting a jury trial. They will dismiss that case quicker than you can blink your eyes, folks. Because they don't want this shit in front of a jury. Because it's private law. It's statute law. And that explains more into the advanced classes. But everything that is statute is considered private law. And it's private only because it applies to citizens only. That's what I mean. That word citizen is evil. The common law, that is public law. And to access that, you cannot be a citizen.
But Doc,
Yes, sir.
aren't we all in the public?
Yes, we are. But you've tracked it.
Well, then how can all this be private law when we're all the citizens are public?
The contract. Remember question number 2. The contract is in question. Jurisdiction, right. Citizen, subject. Contract in question. Well, the contract in question and why you're subject to the private laws, such as these statute laws that are by the millions on the books, such as all this,
Literally.
such as all these traffic laws and whatnot, are all because your driver's license. You have a driver's license. You had to sign it. Of course, at the time, they didn't disclose that, but they don't have to, because ignorance of the law is no excuse. And the reason they can claim that maximum in court is because every single law ever passed is published publicly. That is why they can claim it. Hey, if you were too lazy to look it up and didn't want to do your studies, tough tooties. That's the way they look at it, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So you need learning real law. You need to understand what's truly taking place here and what's happening. So that's just a couple little highlights for you of what's going on. Any and every that requires a signature of any kind is a contract. Now, we understand contracts. You get a cell phone. You got to sign up that 2-year contract. You have cable or Dish, one of the Dish providers out there. You sign a contract. You have a bank account, and you have a signature with the bank. That is a contract. Anything, I mean anything, that requires a signature is a lawful binding contract. Now, there's also verbal contracts and assumable contracts. Those, although all admissible in court, are not as binding because it's kind of hard to prove. It becomes down to hearsay because there's no written proof. That's why you're always told everything you do, get it in writing. So that's the big issue, folks. Get it in writing. The next link you're going to come across is Socialist Examined. And this one, again, is not that long. It's pretty short. So we can actually blow through this one real quick. Just let me get these links in here. Did you have a question earlier, Jess? Sounded like you were trying to get in there for a minute. And I was on a ranting roll, sorry.
Jesse. I guess she doesn't have a question after all.
Or she muted herself. She's taking care of the kids, and she may have gotten that phone call she was waiting on.
Maybe.
This one's over there at hackinlaw.org as well. Socialist Examined.
You didn't call me, did you?
We were just seeing it before moved into the next little PDF here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to deal with my son. Sorry.
Oh, no worries, dear. Go do what you got to do. Socialists define the true characteristics of the creature. 1. A socialist is a person who likes to tell other people what to do. Such a person believes he knows better than all others. Damn, that sounds like me for a minute. Thus, such a person likes to impose his will on other people and works diligently to achieve his goals. He uses others as tools. I don't do that. To achieve the goals he desires. In most cases, such a person uses the emotions of people to get his way and will lie, cheat, and steal to impose his unjust will and prejudice. All such actions generally have some form of objective to be achieved by such a person.
And may I say...
Yes, you may.
Okay, now the most obvious of them that are like that very first definition there, are called liberals. Not libertarians, liberals. And I've been throwing around the word greedist for a couple months now, because that's what they are. Greedy. They are promoters of greed. It's not that they're selfish, because to be selfish means to want the things that you already have. Means you want to keep the things that you already have. To be a greedist is to want the things that someone else has. See that connection? Greed and selfishness are not the same. Selfish means you have stuff and you want to keep your own stuff. Greed is to steal. It's to impose your opinions, what you think should be done on somebody else, on somebody else's life. You're impeding upon their rights. That's what it is, to steal, to be greedy. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Hey, man, you want to take the next paragraph, the next definition?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Oh.
A person of the above socialist variety is inherently an oppressor. Number 2, a socialist is a person that likes to take from society to benefit himself. Such a person really does not have the fortitude to work hard for what he desires and wants others to provide it for him. You see how greedy that is? As such a person is of a weak minority, he must group with others and harass his society to obtain what he wants, to make up for what he is too shiftless to work for. Thus, as a rule, such a person is willing to take from people he does not even know, and is a burden to society. Can anybody say welfare for that family down the road that owns 2 brand new pickups, a brand new car, a minivan? They're living in a very upscale apartment area, and hey, nobody has a job? Oh, but let's blame the illegals. They're the problem. Yeah, okay. This particular variety of socialist is generally used as a tool, because they are tools, by the faction that is of the dictatorial variety. Can we say Republicrats and Demoblicans? Accordingly, the nature of the relationship is reciprocal. That is to say, one will use the other to achieve and receive what the other desires. An example of a socialist is Adolf Hitler.1 was Nathan Meeker. And I can stretch that list out to probably 200-300 people real easy, because I've actually met some socialists, and believe me, they're not even fun to talk to. After the so-called Civil War, Meeker was sent to Colorado by the federal government with the goal to civilize the Ute Indians. He told the Ute Indians they had to establish commercial-style agriculture. He made them do it with help, actually force, of the United States military. It is believed you know what happened to Hitler. In somewhat of a parallel, Meeker had found himself one day with a stake driven into his mouth to keep him quiet. Are you surprised? Consequently, neither socialist had dictated to anyone ever again. That's not a bad thing. Our task of creating a socialist America can only succeed when those who would resist us have been totally disarmed. Sarah Brady, Handgun Control Incorporated. You getting the picture, people? Are we getting the picture here? Now, if you'll take a look down at the bottom of the page there, it has two notes. The first one is creature, noun, something created. Okay. 2A is a living being, especially an animal. B, a human being. And 3, one dependent on or subservient to another, a tool. And that's what these socialists are. They're all tools. I find it hard to believe that they really had parents, because had they had parents, they wouldn't be greedists. They would understand that to steal from somebody else is wrong. It's a bad thing. Listen, I've been unemployed going on like 3.5 years, and it really sucks. I haven't had a job in 3.5 years. Haven't gone out and earned money, and I hate it. But you know what? I'm not sucking off of society either. I'm not taking a pedestal. I'm not standing up on a soapbox for this. But I'm telling you, I still do contribute something to society, even if it is trying to impart knowledge. And this knowledge that we're trying to give, it's hard earned. This was not an easy thing. I know LB went through a lot to get this. I've gone through a lot to get what little knowledge I have. And Doc has gone through it too. People, we all need to catch up with what's going on. We need to come up to speed. It's right there, you know, footnote number 2, plank 8 of the Communist Manifesto, 1848, sets forth equal obligation of all to work. How about everybody goes to work because the government said so, and they assigned you a specific job, no matter who you are. They don't care who you voted for. They don't care anything. You will go to work, or soldiers will show up at your door and shoot you. That's socialism. And that's what that equal obligation of all to work actually means. Also, the manifesto states the establishment of industrial armies, especially for agriculture. Come on, let's get the picture. Let's make a connection. This is not difficult. Okay, go, Doc.
All righty. Well, we're going to move on to our next link. That's great for those of you who are new, because you're going to get the intro here. And as you can find over there, it's the packalliance.us, spelled out 14th. That's not 1-4, folks. It's 14th. Now, of course, we just put in a number 14 with the way our PAC site, and LB has been, he writes all the own coding for all our websites. I wouldn't be surprised if it brought you to to the site. But anyway, there's 7 small sections to this, and it's a lot of fun. And it's actually the intro to the Red Amendment, our textbook. And it's in its original form. The Constitution of the United States government did not house citizens. Remember I told you that evil word, citizens, that didn't take place till the 14th Amendment. However, all this has been changed. So, yeah, over there at that intro page, you can then click on that little window there, and it'll say is SE1, Section 1. And when you opened it, you went to, brought you right to the intro. And section 1 of that is the major premise. And below there, you're also going to find 4 more for PDFs, treason by design, which we've covered. The voter qualifications document, which clearly states in all states you must be a citizen. And, of course, the voter cancellation, so you can get off of that registry. And that's step 1 of correcting your status and finally getting free. You're still a long way away. Like 28 steps in all. That's only step 1. Well, actually, step the education, so you consider that step 2. And, of course, the establishment. But you're going to read about the major premise. Senate Report 93-549. That's the 93rd Congress, first session of the year, 1973. Summarizes the situation up nicely. A majority of the people of the United States have lived all their lives under emergency rule. My IE in there is martial law, folks. And in the United States, actions taken by government in times of great crisis have, from at least the Civil War, in important ways, shaped the present phenomenon of a permanent state of national emergency. And you'll see click to learn more. And that's going to open up part 1, 2, 3, and 4 for you. Part 1, United States terminated Lincoln's dictatorship. Number 2 is New United States, the military-style government. Part 3, the new federal states, new citizenship status, thanks to the 14th Amendment. And New Bill of Rights, the upcoming insurgencies. And if you click on those little parts, it opens up a brief intro, paragraph. Is everybody with me so far? Have we lost anybody? Just checking the chats, make sure everybody's got the links and are following along here. Just reading the comments here in the chat. Alrighty. Jose, you with us? You see where I'm at?
Yeah. No, I didn't follow the link. I'm sitting here trying not to laugh.
Oh, sure. You're supposed to read if you didn't follow my link.
You're trying not to laugh too, huh, dude? I'm sitting back here. I'm so glad I got my phone muted today.
Well, when I clicked on it, PAC Alliance US /14th, it took me, and I seen Karl Marx face there, and I'm thinking, oh my God, that's gotta be the greediest, and I start, and I mean, I get the connection, I see how these people are just, oh my God, they're so greedy. I'm trying not to laugh about it. It's not actually a funny thing, funny as in humorous. My laughing is more from glee.
Yep.
Complete idiocy, that I once had.
And trust me, folks, we've all been there. It's not just you, brother. It's all of us. Until we're taught differently and realize what's taking place, nobody, we're all under this same illusion, delusion, brainwashing, indoctrination, if you will. We all come from the exact same place, folks. I've been doing this for years, so I know this stuff inside out. And it's hard, because we start laughing because we know what's coming. We already learned this. So for you guys just seeing this for the first time, you might not catch all these little, faded out, washed out pictures and comments as you're going through the PAC sites. You also see these pop-ups that'll pop up when you go to a page. I've helped hope you enjoy those. I helped write a few of those, being part of the PAC team there. And there's many of us that work on those, and a couple of those are mine. So I hope you enjoy them. But yeah, we have this over there on Facebook, and check out LB Wall. You can find hundreds of what we call PAC pics, which are kind of funny cartoons things with different sayings, and they're a lot of fun. They're fun because they're true, and you have to laugh at it. It's like, damn, was that stupid?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, how come I didn't see this before? But just like anything else, folks, if you do it your whole life, your parents did it, your grandparents probably did it, and then one day, you know, somebody comes along like myself, or you come across something else from PAC, and it's like, this guy must be totally off his rocker. But then you give it a minute, and you actually follow a link, and you look it up in the law dictionary, which is probably the first time you ever pick one of those up for many. And they're like, oh, my God, he wasn't kidding. That's really what the law says. That's what we're all about, folks. We're all about law here. This is why we know what the courts accept and what they don't accept, what works and what doesn't work. You know, LB's been at this over 20 years. He's been lawfully free with true corrected status for almost 15 years. I've been studying this and teaching this for over 4 years. And there's people that even came before us that worked on it. There's groups upon groups of researchers that we have that we work with from all over the U.S. To put all this information together for you. You know, hours upon hours in the law libraries and, you know, using the law books before the internet. You know, this is back in the day when you had, you know, a book. People remember what those look like, you know. It's that thing with that's got papers in there and it's got things written on it. Yeah, well, that's a book. You've never heard of one before. You know, ever since the internet era came out. But, sorry, just have to laugh.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I mean, you know, granted, in the start, when you first start getting into it, you're like, wait a second, this has got to be a joke. This seriously has got to be a joke. And you're reading along and you're like, no way, that's not true. That can't be. But then you realize, you know, wait, law, that's what they've used to control my life. Law applies to everyone. Well, some of this stuff I don't agree with. You know, these laws, they're sounding really bad. You know, I've worked my whole life, and I don't agree with this. So I'm paying these people, and I don't agree with what they're writing. Oh, okay, well, you know. Yeah, that's society. That's how we've been taken advantage of. In every way. Now, what part was it you wanted me to read, Doc?
Well, did you get yourself to part 1?
Section 1?
Section 1. And then where it says, click here to learn more. Part United States terminated / Lincoln's dictatorship.
Okay, let me get there. This is a little bit slow. I've got some stuff open, you know, other stuff that I've been posting on the internet. All right, we're at major premise of the 14th Amendment. That's right?
Yep. And if you look below there, the red thing that says click here to learn more pops up in 4 sections.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's all laid out.
Okay.
Click on that opens up Lincoln's.
All right. I'm just going to start at the top of the page. About the major premise, Senate Report 93-549, 93rd Congress, first session of the year, 1973, summarizes the situation up nicely. A majority of the people of the United States have lived all of their lives under emergency rule. That's not a lie. And in the United States, actions taken by the government in times of great crisis have, from at least the Civil War, in important ways, shaped the present phenomenon of a permanent state of national emergency. And presidents tend to forward that national emergency every 2 years. Okay, Lincoln's dictatorship. 14th Amendment. From the research information available, it can be reasonably proven that when the southern states walked out of Congress on March 27, 1861, the quorum to conduct business under the Constitution for the United States of America was lost. Thus, the only votes that Congress could lawfully take under parliamentary law were those to set the time to reconvene, take a vote to get a quorum, and vote to adjourn and set a date, time, and place to reconvene at a later time. But instead, Congress apparently abandoned the House and the Senate without setting a date to reconvene. Under the parliamentary law of Congress, when this happened, Congress became sine die, pronounced sine dia. Literally meaning without day. And thus, when Congress adjourned sine die, it ceased to exist as a lawful deliberative body. And thus, the only lawful constitutional power that could declare war was no longer lawful or in session. Personally, I believe that's why presidents take it upon themselves to do this executive order crap. It can also be reasonably proven that the southern states, by virtue of their secession from the Union, also ceased to exist sine die, and that some state legislatures in the northern bloc also adjourned sine die, and thus all the states which were parties to creating the Constitution for the United States of America apparently ceased to exist. On April 15, 1861, President Lincoln executed the following executive order. Lincoln Executive Proclamation 1, and it can also be proven that the United States of America have been ruled over ever since by the President under executive powers. It also can be reasonably proven that when Congress eventually did reconvene, it was reconvened under the military authority of the life and not by rules of order for parliamentary bodies or by constitutional law, thus placing the American people under martial law ever since the national emergency declared by President Lincoln. Thus, the Constitution for the United States of America has subsequently temporarily ceased being the acknowledged law of the land in many courts, and the President, Congress, and the courts have unlawfully presumed that they were free to remake the Union in a new image, whereas lawfully no constitutional provisions were in place which afforded power to any of the actions which were taken, which presumed to place the Union under the new form of control. Seeing that? Are we seeing that? Part 2. The military-style government. President Lincoln apparently knew that his executive orders no longer had any force under constitutional law, and thus he commissioned General Orders Number 100, April 24th, 1863, apparently as a special code to govern his actions under martial law and to justify the seizure of power, which further extended the laws of the District of Columbia, and which also fictionally implement the provisions of Article 1, Section 8, Clauses 17 to 18 of the Constitution beyond the boundaries of Washington, D.C., which theretofore went into the several states. Okay. Now I just got to say this. I'm going to pause right here. I got to say this. Now, if you take a look at just what was read right there, martial law, general orders, extend the laws of the District of Columbia throughout all the states. Okay? Are we getting this? When Lincoln did his Civil War, he actually proclaimed war. It was the federal government proclaiming war against all the states. It wasn't just North against South. It was the federal government versus everybody else. That's actually what happened right there.
Yep, people don't realize it, though. And you're not going to get this in history school class because there's only 4 publishers that write every single textbook our children learn from. Only 4 folks. And those 4 companies are owned by the names you'll find on the Bilderberger groups. If you want to go into the conspiracy side of things.
Okay.
There's nothing published in school-wise, for textbook-wise, that is not pre-approved by the elitist.
Exactly. It's true. So far, all of this is true. I tried to debunk all this. I mean, when I first heard Doc talking on the radio, I was like, wait a second. Obviously, the UCC is BS and this, that, and the other. Let's see what this guy's talking about. And further I listened, yeah. And I'd already done a chunk of the research anyways. The only thing that I'd never really stumbled into was the 14th Amendment and U.S. citizen stuff. So for me to get all the rest of it, minus this one little key piece, it amazes me. I obviously missed something. Well, yeah, it was the 14th Amendment, and I tried to debunk it all, and I can't. If somebody else can, and I doubt you can, please try. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, we've been
anyways
forever, ever since we went public in 1998, and LB founded the People's Awareness Coalition. That's a long time, folks. Okay, this is not a fly-by-night type organization. We've been here for 20 years. And in 20 years, you do a search to try to find anything. You're going to come up with one negative comment that guy was supposed to have retracted by court issue because the man was under contract. And he went to court, and he lost. Okay? That's the only negative thing ever discovered in 20 years that is out there from anybody. And I'm telling you, there is nobody else out there in this movement that has a clue, all right, of the lawful process of what is really going on, with what the law has truly done to us all. All right, it's usurped everything. The 14th Amendment has usurped everything. For those that don't know what that means, used up, taken it away. All right, so it doesn't exist anymore. It may exist in a limbo, in other words, but is no longer applicable. So people don't get it, and you start bringing up the 14th Amendment to these people, and they'll be like, "Oh, that doesn't apply to me. I'm white." They think that only applies to the slaves that were free to. In the South. They don't even think it applies to slaves of the North. They just think it applies to the slave of the South. There's all kinds of other whimsical ideas out there. I've heard about it because they don't bother to pick up a law dictionary. Now, what many of us don't do, and we spoke about earlier, the bottom line is, folks, contract is what's in question. And any contract although it looks like plain, everyday, normal English that we all, speak here in the United States for the most part, they don't realize that if it's a contract, you can't use the everyday common American dictionary. You must use a law dictionary to interpret what that contract is stating. That's where people get confused. Just like people that try to break apart the words and the meanings of words and that what they call it, Anglo-Saxon language or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And they do it beautifully. However, they're using English. They're not using law language. They're not using the correct language when they break it apart. If you're going to do that breakdown of words, you must do so with the proper language. And the proper language to do so, which anybody who's at least 5 years or older should know this, what are lawyers taught? Latin.
Latin.
Because Latin is law. Okay? So when you read a contract, although it's written in everyday English, you cannot break that contract down using an English dictionary. You need to use the Latin and the law dictionaries. Then you can break those words apart all day long if you want. I don't care. But I hear so many people out there doing this damn language game. And there's a bunch of them out there, folks. And they're all playing the same game, and they're all telling you the same crap. And it sounds great. And they're correct in what they're saying. However, it is not applicable, or pliable, whatever word you would use there.
Applicable.
There you go. Thank you. Applicable to law, because law does not use the English language breakdown. It uses Latin. Anyway, go ahead and continue. I had to throw that in.
Thanks, Doc. Okay. General Orders Number 100, also called the Lieber Instructions and the Lieber Code, have apparently extended the laws of war and private international law into the American states. And the United States government has become the presumed military conqueror of the people and the land of the several nations in the American Union. Think of it. It says a lot. Okay. Martial rule has apparently been kept secret and has never really ended. Lincoln was assassinated before he could complete the implementation of his plan to constitutionally and not militarily reform the southern state, i.e., national governments, and restore the lawful Congress. Ever since this time, the United States of America has been ruled under military law, under the commander and chief, the president, and his assumed executive powers according to the policies of executive orders, a military dictator type function. Constitutional law under the original Constitution for the Americans. Wait, no, I got to stop there. Okay, I hear a lot of people now, and I'm seeing it through the internet like wildfire. Oh, Obama's putting in martial law. He's doing martial law. He's not putting it in. He's just making it more obvious. It's been there for over 150 years. All he's doing is what he's allowed to do under this law, under the 14th Amendment. Yeah, he's allowed to do this under the Lieber Code. This is his power. Why does Congress not stand up and say anything? Because they don't have a right to. They do not have any right to stand up and stop him. Why? Because of how these laws are written out. It's not that he is creating these laws. See, if people took over, if we, let's say, we went to Washington and took all these congressmen and senators and the entire executive branch and took out the Justice Department, put them all under arrest, and then put our own people in there, the 14th Amendment would still apply. And under law, anybody reading any of this stuff would have to say, oh, well, you know, once again, it's the executive that has the power.
Exactly.
And nothing would change.
Yeah, Obama makes it obvious he's just simply utilizing the laws currently in place because it's time. I feel it's the New World Order's year. In other words, this is their final big push, if you will. I've said it. I've been saying it for 6 years now, or better, that Obama's going to be the last sitting president because he has the power to cancel federal elections. Now, they've been talking about that for years, you know, not just in Obama's presidency, but even before him, all the way back to the first GW, okay? You've always let one state or another will slip out, oh, because of the, you know, whatever the emergency may be, or like the economy, or whatever excuse they may use, that they've considered putting off federal elections. Well, you've been hearing more and more about that. And trust me, if I had any predictability at all, you're not going to have another federal election, folks. And your vote has never counted. They tell you it doesn't count, yet people do it. They tell you voting is a crime, yet we do it. Well, everybody else is doing it. I'm sorry, if everybody else is running around murdering and raping, would you do it? If you know, it goes back to the old saying, your mother, if your buddy jumped off the bridge, would you follow him? Oh, maybe if he survived. You know, come on. This is the mentality that we've been dumbed down to because of the public school system. Right?
Yeah.
It put the final nail in the coffin, if you will. And now all this is coming to a head. It really is, folks. It's coming to a head, and it's either shit or get off the pot. Pardon my French, but it's that simple. You know, it's time for somebody else to pick up the pieces, or you know, sitting around waiting on the fence, as we like to call it, the fence walkers who know the truth but don't take action, or they're just not sure, or they don't want to put the study time in, or whatever the case may be. You know, screw you, I don't need you. I'm not out there for the 99.9% of people, because most of them ain't worth a shit, to be honest with you. I'm after that 0.001%. The person who is a real studier, someone who is not a parrot, someone who is not a, you know, who's willing to open a book. Okay? That's who I'm looking for, folks. I don't worry about the thousands upon thousands of people out there that follow all these scams and nut jobs and all this other crap. The only thing they do is keep the private prison system up, full and running. And don't bother me.
Yeah.
You know, that's all you guys are doing is keeping the prison system full. That's it. Because you don't take the time. You look at a couple of things and say, oh, this sounds good. They must really know what they're talking about. Hey, look, he's a lawyer. Hey, look. No, they're not. Look it up. And what the hell is a lawyer anyway? Any single attorney license, first of all, does not have their client's best interest at heart. Anybody who knows anything about law knows that. Their first and foremost priority is always to the court. It is not to the client. Never has been and never will be.
Nope.
The only way that a person is going to represent you is if you represent yourself. Because you're the only one who's going to have your best interest in heart. And not only that, the court allows, not only does it allow for your own defense, it allows for your interpretation of a law. A lot of people don't realize that either. If you can explain and prove to the judge and hold him to his oath, you know, that this is your interpretation of a particular section, you know, whatever that section is in question of the contract in question, then he has to rule in your favor. Even if it's not the way the law really is, but if you can prove that, lean the scale of justice, if you will, in your favor because that is your interpretation of a particular law, oh yeah, you win. No problem. Case dismissed. But people don't bother to learn. They don't study. They don't do the research. They don't, the people who do are usually ones that are in trouble first. And by then it's too late, folks. You need to know now, not when you're standing in front of the judge. We don't want you in front of the judge. Correct your status, guess what? You'll never stand in front of a judge. Ever, 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 ever in your entire life. Not going to happen. And if you do, you just simply show him the paperwork. And he says, oh, sorry for the inconvenience. Have a nice day. And you walk out. It's how much power that we have. This is why we don't want just every Tom, Dick, and Harry off the street. We want people who are serious about this stuff, folks. I will teach day in and day out on the radio, on Skype, everywhere I go, Facebook, in public, lecturing, whatever it takes. And I don't care if I lecture and sit down at a luncheon with 1 or 2 people, or if I'm standing in front of a crowd of 200. Because I know if I'm sitting there with just 1 or 2 people, those 1 or 2 people are the 1 or 2 people that are going to take the effort, that are going to do the studies, that are going to put the time in needed to fix the problem. Everybody knows what the problem is. Well, so they claim. Most of them ignore the 14th Amendment. And you'll hear all
a lot of
ones with a solution. You have a lawful solution? Is it recognized by the courts? Is it recognized all the way up to the commander-in-chief himself? That's what you get, folks. With us, guess what? We're recognized all the way up to the commander-in-chief himself. We are recognized and supported by every AG, attorney general of every country that makes up the Union. And if you're a beginner or not, in case you missed the first class, the United States of America, or any form thereof, is not, nor ever has ever been, nor ever will be a country. It's a lie. Look up the word country in the law dictionary, and it will clearly show you that a country is the state in which one is a member, or in a state that which one happened to have been born. That is your rightful country. That is your rightful nationality. Don't tell me you're Irish, Italian, and German. Because if that's the case, get on the plane and get the F out of here. Somebody asks you next time what your nationality is, yeah, tell them. I was born in New Jersey, and I am now a Floridian. And that opens up a whole line of questions. Because they're like, what? Because they don't know what the hell, because they don't know. And this is how you open up doors and start getting truth out there. It's all about correction of verbiage. Anyway, we got about 30 minutes left. Anybody ready for a break, or you want to keep going?
No, let me finish off at least this part.
Okay.
Okay. Constitutional law, under the original Constitution for the American states, is apparently enforced only as a matter of keeping the public peace, under the provisions of General Orders Number 100 under martial rule. This peace is further evidenced in the preamble of the so-called Expatriation Act of 1868. And under martial rule, where the peoples who are deemed enemies of the republics cede all property, title being a mere illusion or by legal fiction, is presumed to belong to the United States. President Lincoln was assassinated before he could implement the plans for reforming constitutional government in the southern states and end the martial rule by executive order. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you that Jackson, was it Jackson or Johnson, that took over after Lincoln? Well, he ended it. No, he did not end martial rule. What he did was he proclaimed the insurrection to be ended, but not specifically martial rule. Okay? That's all.
Yeah, I just want to interrupt you there for a minute since you went into that instead of finishing that sentence out. If you actually read, and we studied this in the advanced courses, martial law itself and the Lever Code and all that, you will clearly see, sorry, I was saying right to my little one there. You will clearly see that it lays out, even in Article 2, I mean, there's 157 articles to that general order, folks. I mean, this ain't no small thing. There's 157 articles to this thing. And right from number 2, and it's repeated, like that number 32, and repeated again, it's repeated multiple times throughout those 157 articles, that there is only 2 ways, only 2 ways, to end martial law. One is the signing of the Treaty of Peace. Look up Treaty of Peace. Guess what, folks? There's non-existent because it's never been signed. The other way is by special presidential proclamation done on a one-to-one basis. So in other words, he can, just like all rulers, kings can sit there and give what he wants. And that's what a special proclamation is. And there's only 2 that's ever been issued in relation to martial law in the entire history since the 14th Amendment, last 150 years. And both of those were issued to the country of Texas. Okay? So, hello. And it didn't free the whole state. It freed certain parts of the state. And it didn't actually free the state. It allowed them to do certain things. That's what it did. Such as the local title, which is true title to land. And that was for the state of Texas because of oil. And that's one of the few states in the Union that makes it fairly easy. Not super easy, but it still does at least issue allodial titles. But that's it, folks. It clearly tells you in the code what is required to dismiss it. And you're not going to find that dismissal anywhere in history. So I finish up that last sentence, and let's play a song. That pretty much will finish up our night, actually.
Okay. The 14th article in amendment to the Constitution has further created a new citizenship, or a new status, actually, for the expanded federal jurisdiction of Americans to the federal government by the legislative control on Congress. Right there it says it. Legislative control on Congress, not by Congress. Big difference. Big, huge difference.
Yeah, that's one of our biggest problems is we see things, we read things, and we may repeat the words or even have them memorized, but we have no clue what it says. We really have never been, we've always been taught to, like speed read or whatever. The people say, oh, well, you're talking about semantics. You're right. Because semantics makes the contract.
Right.
It is very, very important. Without the semantics, the rule of penmanship, the rule of law, then forget it. So you have to, when you start studying law and you start getting this information, you have to understand semantics. And just like law, that's sometimes boring and dry and blah, blah, blah. But once you pick up on just some of the little things that you learn here, just in the beginning classes here, you only need a couple of weeks. You listen to the shows, you read over the links that we go over here in the beginner classes, And within a matter of a month, 2 at the most, you'd be surprised how much you've retained. You'll be able to look at something for the first, even if it's not the first time you're reading that particular item or that document, you'll look at it without even realizing. You'll be looking at it with new eyes, and it's like, aha, I see that. Oop, I caught that. And these are things you never caught before because you were never taught to. We've just gone along, blah, 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 living in limbo out there in outer space or wherever our minds may be, and just let them walk all over us. They've been telling us for centuries. It's the they, and that means they. Everybody falls under they. The elitists, Bilderberg groups, whoever they may be. The New World Order, it's all part of they. And they've been telling us for centuries exactly what they're going to do. And I'll tell you what, folks, they're people of their word. They haven't broken their word yet. It may take them 150 years, but they told us from day one exactly what they're going to do. They make no bones about it. People don't see it. And we hear day in and day out, our founders created a republic. Well, if that's the case, then how come every time you turn the TV on or hear anybody speak anywhere, they talk about the democracy? And people don't think about it. Oh, where do you live? Oh, yeah, we live in a democracy. Democracy, great, ain't it? Why do you think they're pushing it globally? Because democracy is the path to their rulership. It puts they in control. That's the New World Order, folks. Democracy is evil. Just like the word citizen, it's evil. But anyway, Jess, I put you back on, honey, if you had a comment.
Yeah, I heard you, and I was going to say that I can vouch for the whole deal with you start noticing different words and different things that you never started noticing before, and you know what they mean. I can vouch for that because I've been doing that since I started listening to you last summer, and I'm a hell of a lot more awake than a lot of my friends are, and it's honestly, it's sad, and I feel really sorry for them.
Yeah, it is, and it's a hard topic to bring up. I mean, you're sitting there in a group, but that's why there's only 2 rules in my house, put down by my wife. I wear the pants of the family. Well, when she lets me. Yeah, there's only 2 rules in my house. Whenever there's company over, when we have a guest or whatever's going on, barbecue or whatever, there's only 2 things I'm not allowed to talk about: religion and politics. Anything else goes. I don't care. I ain't talking about UFO. Anything else in the world I want. But don't bring up those 2 topics. Now, if somebody else brings it up first, that's okay. They opened the door for me. But I'm not allowed to start it. But, yeah, we have friends actually do come over from time to time that actually I'm allowed to talk about those kind of topics because they're also into it. They're into the conspiracy and the darker side of things. Seeing the truth within something that others may not pick up on. So, of course, when those people are over and those friends of ours are over, yeah, no problem. Those topics are back on the table. But it's tough, and I'll make comments under my breath. Somebody will make, they'll use the word country out of context, out of the true definition, I should say. And I'll sit there and say, well, which country are you talking about? And I'll just look at you. And if they bite, I bait them. In other words, I'm baiting them. And if they bite, and then I can bring up a little bit more information. But you got to spoon feed people. You just can't come out of the blue and say, you're a bunch of idiots. Y'all been brainwashed and indoctrinated, and this is why. And you guys ain't never going to learn shit till you learn law. I tried that. It doesn't work. It's like, yeah, you guys are a bunch of idiots. Read this, Here.
I have some people that sit there and say, what was it? I don't even remember freaking, oh yeah, it's a free country, and I try so hard. I've tried so hard not to laugh at them because I know the truth.
Right.
And so not to sit there and look at one of my really, really good friends, okay, in the face and tell her, I'm sorry, darling, but you're wrong, And then just my My problem, my disability, my error is that I have the information. I just can't articulate it from the brain to the mouth. So it's hard for me. It's hard for me to sit there and think of. I mean, because I've got it all in my head. You know, I know the truth. I know what's going on, but I can't bring it from my brain to my mouth to say, hey, this is, you know, and then tell them. That's my lack of articulation, and it sucks. So I usually tell people, it's like, look, you don't believe me, look up General Order 100, start there. If you have any more information, call me. You know?
Cool.
They'll be reading it, and they'll read the words, but they don't know what they're looking at, you know? They don't catch the semantics involved in what's really taking place. Just like when that damn Pledge of Allegiance that we've all been indoctrinated with and brainwashing. We say the words, you know, they taught us to us in school, right, from kindergarten. I pledge allegiance, and a flag, but we don't know what the hell we're talking about. We don't know what we're pledging to. You know, we're totally clueless. We say these words, we see these words, and have no understanding what it really means. Or my favorite one is when they come out, but we the people.
We ain't the damn people.
Really? We the what are you smoking? And man, this guy, and then they'd be looking at me like, no, really, what the hell are you smoking? Because you ever hear of a contract? And they'd be like, well, yeah. I said, John, requires a signature? And they're like, yeah. Did you ever sign the Constitution?
I was waiting on that.
I'm like, well, then how can you be we the people? Well, we're still we the people. They signed it on our behalf. Really? You were alive? I didn't know you were immortal. You were alive 150 years ago when they signed that on your behalf? Yeah. I love when you get these deer in the headlight looks, because then you get them to a point really where they just got nowhere to go, you know, at that point, and they just kind of like shoulders drop down, the head drops down, they just kind of walk away like and look back as they're walking away like, what the fuck just happened, man?
Yeah.
I just went tripping. I didn't even toss me a penny. I love messing with people's minds. But it's a way to wake them up, because the next time somebody approaches them with it, the next time they hear about that topic, the next time they read something, believe it or not, it makes an impact. You know, if you can get them to that point of, and they can't answer the question, and they're like really just totally dumbfounded, that's going to make an impression. May not make a conscious impression, but it's going to register on the subconscious level. So the next time something like that comes up, it's going to be like, you know, that light bulb's going to go off. Hey, I heard that before. Maybe I should look into that. Let me see what that guy was talking about. Well, what was that slide again? You know, so yeah, it's just you got to spoon feed them. Sometimes it's great with the shock issue, like I do. I'll sit there and try to play words with them and do things like that. But it's just whatever you're comfortable with. And the bottom line, Jess, if you just really can't come up with any of that kind of stuff, and somebody does that, play dumb. Play like, well, I've heard this, you know, and I looked, you know, I went to this link here and I looked it up, and there was a law dictionary, and I'd be damned if that's not what it said. It said, you know, the state is the country. Yeah, you guys want to check this out with me? You know, do it that way. Play dumb. Let them think that they're leading you. You know what I mean? And sometimes that works. So it's just different ways of eating.
I'm sorry. Finish. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
Oh, I know. Sorry. I hate cutting people off. I hate playing dumb because I'm not dumb, and that irritates me when I play dumb. I can try it, but it would just piss me off.
Well, see, it depends on the person. When you do this long enough, and you really have the information down pat, and if you know how to, you know, it's not everybody knows how to read other people. I used to be real good at cards, so I can read people fairly well. But if you're good, can read people, you know, and their expressions and what's going on, you can pretty quickly figure out whether or not it's the type of person you need to play dumb with, to let them kind of lead you to where you're really bringing them without them realizing it, or that you can be a little bit more forceful with. Say, look, dude, you know, I've been there, done that. I went through the same brainwashing public fool system you did, but look what I discovered. Check it out for yourself, and then get back to me, and we'll talk about it and see if we don't come up with the same idea or same conclusion about something. If that helps.
Well, I don't mean to bust right in and start talking, but the ones that I like to pick on.
You always do. That's fine though, because I do it too. I love you.
You know who I like to pick on, right?
Besides
all
me.
Those, well, yeah, I mean, it's always you.
You like picking on me?
Yeah, no, Jesse is even more fun. No, seriously,
that's why I take it and give it back.
It's all these we the people ones, right?
Yep.
Those are the ones I like to pick on. And what I like posting, comes from Barron versus Mayor and City Council of Baltimore, 32 U.S. 243. I mean, in it, right there, it says, the people does not include U.S. citizens.
Nope.
And just that one little bit. Has anybody seen this? Throw that up at them. Okay. I get a lot of people angry by doing that, but I don't care. It's true. And that's just one of those little tricks that all the elitists have been informed of, and they know about this, and they use it on us. And now they have. Well, it's like this liberal. My God, poor guy. I was just jumping around the internet, on Blog Talk, listening to jumped into this one guy's show, and he was just starting his show, and I swear, out of his own mouth, he said, and I quote, "I love Wikipedia because I can go there and define any word in any way that I want."
Wow.
I was floored. I was completely floored. I didn't know what to make of it. To me, that's like idiocy plus, that's stupid extreme. Like the extreme sports guys, right? These guys that are doing this like snowboarding off of a cliff and then parachuting and popping their chute 10 feet before they hit the ground. That's how. Yeah, that's how I see that guy.
Really?
Stupid, that extreme.
That's right. You want to laugh. You want to laugh. All right. Two things for what you said so far. One is, first of all, can you remember way back? What can you recall easier and more quickly? The friends you had in school or the bully?
I missed part of that question, Doc. You're in and out.
Oh, sorry. When you think back to your high school days, right. Can you remember and pull up more quickly your friends that you had or the enemy, the bully of the class?
Bullies.
Bully. Always will be the answer.
Always bullies.
Piss off people, that's a good thing. Because you know what? They're going to remember that much quicker and more easily than the friend that they met 10 minutes or 10 minutes after you. That was just comment one on that. The other thing was, now I can't remember. I know you were talking about, Wikipedia, right? The schools, first of all, will not allow Wikipedia. I do homeschooling, so the homeschooling class online does not allow as a reference source anything from Wikipedia. But what makes me laugh, and we'll cover this, PAC, People's Awareness Cult, one time, actually did have an article on Wikipedia. You know, it was taken down with no reason whatsoever.
Really?
Yes, sir.
That's insane.
Type in.
What was the article?
Yeah, if you type in, let's see if I can find it. While you guys talk for a minute, let me see if I can find our link there. I share it with y'all. But we had one up there, and for no reason at all, it was
the connection.
To know the truth.
The thing that I'm trying to connect is that one statement, you know, in the movie 1984. I think it's Albert Hitchcock's movie, right? 1984, where the guy is sitting there, you know, and the lead character asks him, "Well, how's that book coming along?" And he's like, "Oh, it's coming along great. In 50 years or so, nope. You know, anybody who uses this dictionary to speak wouldn't understand a single word we're saying." And I was like, "Oh my, yeah, you know that, yeah, that's Wikipedia."
Yep. Come up.
And on
.org/WAKI. Yeah, WIKI. All right, and I'll paste that link for you guys in the chat room here. But yeah, that was our. Oops, I forgot. I pasted it and forgot to hit enter. Duh. Let's try that again. There we go. But yeah, it's State National from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Article was deleted on November 18, 2010 with no valid explanation. One, Arthur Rubin was the one to initiate the deletion. User, you can go to a link to follow him. Content, one, foundation principles, state national origin, the federation state, two, the United States of America, the several state international agent, state national background, subjugation of state national status, the state nationals of the Union, nationality is a natural right, United States recognition of rightful nationality, and United States nationality is effectively genocide. Number three, references, authorities, notations, footnotes, and other. And we can actually, it's pretty long document. You see it covers all that information. But yep, we were there. Foundation principles of the state national origin. And we'll cover that. Actually, we can cover that tomorrow night in our advanced classes for those of you who want to go check that out. But yeah, it's just because you mentioned good old Wikipedia that popped into my mind. I said, oh boy, I haven't pulled that one up in ages, and made me think to grab that.
Yeah, no, I see Wikipedia as being the disinformationists' dictionary. You know, you have to be a complete, and I'm not joking, you have to be completely stupid, ignorant, moronic, and I don't know how many other different words there are for it, to believe that anything on Wikipedia has any kind of standing in logic, much less anywhere else.
They are idiots.
Yeah, no, most of it is imaginary. It should be considered, Wikipedia should be considered a complete, utter joke.
It's fiction.
Now, if we were to loose the masses that, you know, those of us that do know, if we were all to, like, jump on Wikipedia and just go through it and correct all the definitions of all the words.
Oh, God, that would take multiple lifetimes.
Oh, shit.
Come on now.
Well, I'm sure there's enough of us that we could probably get it cut down to half of a lifetime. But it's just that whole Wikipedia thing should just be completely deleted off the internet. You know, it's so full of
Right.
misinformation, lies, and it's very greedy. You read through that thing, and you start looking up important words, and you will see that they're all slanted over toward greed. I'm surprised when you go to define the word stealing, it doesn't say everything's mine, 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 mine. That's what I would. I'm surprised it doesn't say that.
Well, guys, say good night. You got 15 seconds.
All right. Good night.
Good night, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. See you tomorrow, I hope.
As always, thank you for joining us. God bless you. Be safe. And don't forget to join us tomorrow night. We'll be back 7 o'clock. Till then, good night. All right, well, I don't like anybody else is coming in. They'll probably be here on the second hour. That's usually what happens, and they catch the rest of the shows in the archive. By now, hopefully you've opened that link. And the link we're working on tonight is one of the first links you'll find as you're going through the deprogramming sequence. And that's pacandlaw.org/info. It's only a 2-page document. It's short, especially since it's large print. So that makes it a little bit easier. And it just gives you a little bit of history about us and who we are and what we're about. And everybody knows this as PAC, which is the People's Awareness Coalition. And this is our resource page. PAC consists of many different facets, which all work together. Content in these 2 pages provides a brief overview of what such facets consist of. The birth of the coalition. The People's Awareness Coalition, PAC, was founded by L.B. Bork in the year 1998. The coalition was birthed by a writing entitled Human Resource Discussed. And we go over that PDF. We can actually do that in the basic classes here as well. We usually go into more detail at the advanced classes for it. But it's not that hard to figure out. From there, LB did research on the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. This research led him to write the book entitled The Red Amendment in 1999. Now, the book is in its 4th edition now for 2012. We've seen thousands of copies distributed throughout the United States in the past 10 years. On other educational grounds, an entertainment-based presentation was created in the year 2000. This particular piece is noted as the PAC deprogramming sequence. That's the first link I gave you. That's what we're talking about tonight. This facet of PAC has gone through several stages of development throughout the years. It has served to unplug thousands and thousands of people from the mind control that has been instilled on them. From these simple, fundamental stepping stones, PAC has blossomed into 9 different web addresses. The 2-page document map is to assist you in your understanding of the sites. For our up-to-date, I'm pretty sure that the forum, the Not My Government forum, is still there. The pacandlaw.org, you're not going to find too much information at if you went there direct anymore, because we moved everything over to the new site, which is the pacalliance.us. So I'm sure the document here has been updated, and we'll find out as we go along. All right, so why are we different as a coalition? There are many groups out there who profess many different things. Most of what you can have been seen is an overspill of many ideas mixed with many off-point issues. The coalition differs because we center on the heart of the matter, the change of the governmental system that happened after the so-called Civil War. Without question, this political issue is the problem that people fail to understand. The device that altered the government politically and in law was the 14th Amendment. There are 2 issues that stem from the aforesaid, and they are: 1, it tricks Americans into rebelling against the law.
And seriously, it was like sunny outside. Maybe 2 little clouds, and no wind, no anything like that. Just poof, electricity's gone. They said, yeah, sure, we'll have it up about 9. I said, well, the show's going to be over by then. And they didn't get it up till 6 o'clock the next morning. You know, and I'm like, what was the excuse for that? Nobody knows why it went down, and all of a sudden it just come back on. Well, one thing leads to another. Next thing you know, here we are. It's Wednesday again, and it's snowing outside, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, electricity's going to go out again. I bet it is. And it hasn't.
Snow, and I feel for you.
Yeah.
Just had to rub it in.
Yeah, no, well, you know, it's just the way it goes. But I've been putting a little bit of attention to what's going on, like on, some blog talk stuff, you know, that's going on, and other things that are going on, like on Facebook and stuff, and
well, see, now
other shows.
Another week to get it all together, and this way you'll be all ready for tomorrow, and it gives me basically a night off.
Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and go with what I had last week. I probably shouldn't say that, because now I'm thinking, you know, electricity's going to be out tomorrow. Because I really want to do this because it shows a whole lot of information that I kind of compiled. Some of it is, you know, kind of ooh, and some of it is specific. Yeah, it's just me and my conspiracy theories. But
hey, nothing wrong with that. If worse comes to worse and something happens again, you know, of course, I do my best to be here. I think in the last 4 years, I've missed maybe 2 shows in 4 years, so I guess my record's pretty good. So no problems there. We can always turn into a music show if worse comes to worse, and I don't come up with anything between now and then. But we can always do review, because we got a lot of craziness that's happening on. We're just kind of hanging out, folks, and talking for a little bit right now. We're not hitting any of our info. Jessie just got home. She's logging in. She'll be joining us here shortly. We're just waiting for the students to come in to the show so they can grab these links, and we can start our lessons for today. We're going to start breaking in here to, there she is. She just logged into the Freedom Range chat room. She'll be showing up on board here shortly. We've been kind of going in order. If you went over to my homepage, and from the Freedom Range site, if you go under our team and click on my name, David Meola, and that will bring you to all the first archive shows from, I don't know what year those are the ones archived from, but the information doesn't change, so it's not a problem. Click on those. You can listen to those. We've been going through. We've already covered lawful government system. For those of you who don't know what that is the de jure system, the republic that the founding fathers founded and put together our union on. And how you're rebelling against it is by your voting. You're actually committing the act of treason, and we cover that in Treason by Design. And number 2, it turned them, the people, into legal entities.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the... Yeah, go ahead, Jose.
No, I was just agreeing. Yeah, it does. It makes everybody into legal entities. It really sucks. You know, I don't know. In my opinion, it's probably one of the stupidest things anybody has ever written in the history of the world. And I've seen some stupid stuff written. Well, that 14th Amendment, it's like, you know, it's on the same level as finders, keepers, losers, weepers. Ta-da! There it is.
There you go. Well, next question would be, so what is our end goal? The ultimate goal is to have the rightful governments politically reinstalled in the several states. Of course, for this to happen, people need to be educated. Our interim goal is to repopulate the American republics before the former can be done. The latter has to be accomplished. Now, again, if you're new to this, we're not talking party lines. This is not Republican versus Democrats. This is form of governance, political bodies. PAC web porthole. On this side of the PAC web portholes are listed in order of educational sequence. The notmygovernment.us, that's our forum. And there you find where you can introduce yourself, find others in your area doing study programs, so on and so forth, along with tons of other information. And then our deprogramming, which is what we're talking about tonight, which is the interactive movie about using the Matrix in a real world we live in. It takes only about an hour to get through. It's a lot of fun. I go through it often. The links within are what we're talking about tonight. And those, of course, will take a lot more than an hour. When we get into it, because it does include some of the advanced stuff, and some of those links you can take a year on if you really want to study it that deeply. We just give you the highlights to give you the encouragement. We're here to answer your questions and point you in the right direction. Make sure you have your links to your law books and law dictionaries. Every PDF, if you're new to PAC, is covered in footnotes and further PDFs. So always put your favorites, mark a folder within your favorites, because by the time you're done with this, you're going to end up with a good 100 to 150 links by the time you're done. Tons of information. It's all solid. It's all backed in law. We've been around the longest out of anybody else in the movement. Nobody else can claim what we claim. Nobody who's ever worked with us or gone through us has ever had a legal issue. So you either do it right the first time, folks, or you go off to these nut jobs claiming they've paid off your debt and welcome all to Community and the Constitution, where we get to have all kinds of fun. This is our basic classes if you've just joined us recently to the show. If you have, we like to say welcome. I've already posted 2 links in both chat rooms. I have both the BTR and the Freedom Marines chat rooms open for everyone. We're moving into our deprogramming segment. I hear you breathing, Jose. How you doing, brother?
No, I'm doing good. How about you?
Well, all good, all good. I got another caller over here on the board. I don't think that's Jesse, though. If that is, just caller, if you just want to get on air, say hello. If you're just listening, that's fine. Don't forget to push the number 1 on your keypad. So that'll put your hand up. Because I'm lousy with remembering phone numbers, so I'm not sure if that's Jesse or not. Oh, boy. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna make it tonight. Well, I knew I'd make it. I just didn't think I was gonna make it on time. Crazy week started out. Had Monday night. I end up somehow cutting the main underground line that supplies the whole house with the TV and internet and everything. So I didn't even realize I had done it. All I know is I was outside working, came inside, and had no internet. So I called them up right away. And a guy came out on Tuesday, and he's like, signal's dying right here, and then I'm repicking it up on the reverse here, and I don't know what's going on. So he says, he threw a temporary line to see if we can get it working, and it worked. He goes, so the line must have gone bad. I said, yeah, I was out here working that. I probably cut the damn thing and didn't even realize it. So, yeah, I was without internet 24 hours, and then the wife's laptop crashed. All kinds of bad sectors on the hard drive, so I've been working in a safe mode on the repair side, just trying to connect it enough across the network so I can pull off her document folders and her pictures and whatnot to get them all backed up onto the main system. So I was in the middle of doing that, and it was a large unit, and I didn't want to interrupt it. And I had it set up in front of my computer, so I couldn't even get to my computer and keyboard. So I'm feeling underneath my keyboard tray where I couldn't see anything, letting Jose know, hey, I might be late. Start the show for me. But yeah, all of a sudden it everything kicked in and went fine, and I just literally finished it up just now. So, whew. Anywho, how was your week?
Well, geez, it's been something else. I mean, seriously, last Thursday I was supposed to help open up the show and give out this big long spiel that I had set up about upcoming events, and lo and behold, the electricity went out. No excuse for it. Absolutely no excuse. No weather at all. Or no bad weather, I should say. No inclement weather at all.
Into Patriot misbeliefs. That was always our first topic we opened with. We went into treason by design, which explains to us why voting is a crime. And from there, it brings us into dual citizen. And we had 5 PDFs that we covered. Some of them that were real short, so I think we got through that in about 2 shows. So with about 2 weeks, we were able to whiz through that one without too much of a problem. So if you're new, you haven't missed that much. And we review the information within constantly, and the links are there for you all the time. So anytime you want to go over it, if you're not sure, if you missed something, simply click on our team to the left if you're on the Freedom Reign site, and you'll be able to find all the PDFs in question. Tonight we're starting with Deprogram. Now that's our fun, interactive movie from PAC. Has a little bit of based on the Matrix theme there for you, help make it a little bit more enjoyable. And I tell everybody, don't bother clicking on all those links. Some of those links may be dead by now, because you're going to find about 25 different links within that information during that movie as you're going through that, and you'll see what I mean once you start it. I have all the links, so don't worry about it. And we'll start entering into them, and that'll bring us also into our advanced classes, which will start bringing us up into more and more relevant information. And apologize for all the ums tonight. That's only because I'm buying for time. There she is. There's my girl. Let's see if I can get her going here. You there, kiddo?
Yeah. Hi, Doc.
Hey, sweetie. What's happening?
Well, as you know, I got promoted at work, and it's my officially second day on the job, and I'm exhausted. This early morning crap sucks. But otherwise, I'm doing good. I'm expecting a phone call later, so if you want me to read or something, and you talk to me and I'm not there, just know I'm probably on the phone.
No.
All right. So yeah, go ahead with your show, and I'll be here as I am every week listening. Hi, everybody.
There you go.
Hi, Jess.
Here. Yeah, you'll get.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
Well, you heard I got a promotion, so I'm excited, but at the same time I'm tired. So.
A promotion?
Yes.
Promoted to what?
Well, I'm still a custodian, but instead of cleaning just buildings and working at night, I clean rest areas. I work outside, and I work during the day. So, and my pay goes up automatically because I work during the day. So, it's nice. And I get to drive the company rig, and I'm outside. So, I mean, there's more pros than cons, and I'd be an idiot not to take the job anyway. So.
I agree. Working daytime is better than working nighttime.
Heck yeah. I get to stay home and be home with my son, and of course you can probably hear him screaming in the background because he doesn't want to go down for a nap, but too bad. I get to spend more time with him, and it's nice. I miss being able to spend time with my kids.
Cool.
Absolutely. Always a good thing you can do that.